Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to be doing another iRacing painting tutorial for Paint Shop Pro. What we're going to do today is focus on layers and how to do wraps and get images off of Google that will work on your cars. So we're going to go ahead and start here on Google. What we need to do is, depending on what you're looking for as far as the some of the stuff goes, I'm going to do Halloween and go over here to images. And what you want to do is, if you're doing a wrap that's a full car wrap, you're not going to want something like this. You're going to want to go along the more lines of abstract. So I'll do Halloween abstract background. And what it amounts to then is you're talking images like this right there. Something along those lines that are going to be something that could cover a whole car. Or even something like this one here. When you do ones like this, for instance, with the pumpkin, or even like this one here, this one's a different one there, but we'll go back to this one. The pumpkins, for instance, when you do that, they would be covering the whole car, because when you do a full car wrap, it has to be 2048 by 2048 to resize it. So naturally, too, you want to make sure you get a big enough picture as well. You don't want something this little, because what will happen is it'll pixelate. But for a picture like this one right here, because the pumpkins are like that, this would be a half a car wrap. You could probably take and do this one on a half a car, and then just flip it over, and I'll show you how to do that later as well, because of the way the pumpkins are. This is not something you'd want to do as a full car wrap. This one you could do as a full car wrap, because it doesn't have any rhyme or reason. Same way with that one, or this one, or that. Well, not that one, because it's got the pumpkins going all one way. So it's not something you want. It's something you want to be able to put on completely. Now, something like this one, for instance, this would also be a half a car wrap. Anything that looks like it's going to have images like this that would look odd upside down, then you don't want to use it as a full car wrap. Something like this, for instance, would end up being a good full car wrap, but you'd probably want to turn it. That's something I'll discuss later. Same way with this one right here. Also, one other thing too is, you don't want, when you look at this one right here, don't get one with the watermarks. So when you look through them, make sure you don't get one of those, because you don't want that on your car. This one would actually be good if you turned it sideways. Now this would be a good hood wrap. Same way with this one right here. And I'll go through that a little bit later as well with my Rob Zombie one. But right now I want to concentrate on the full car wrap. So what we need to do is find something that's going to work. Generally, if I don't see anything that's going to tickle my fancy as far as a car paint goes, a full paint wrap goes. See, this one right here would be close, but it's got the pumpkins down in the corner. Now you could use that one if you wanted to turn it sideways and put the pumpkins on the hood of your car. You could do that, but this is a really tiny image. So what I'm going to do is go over here to orange abstract wallpaper. And we'll see if we can get something that's close enough to what we're looking for as far as Halloween goes. Now this would be something that you could use. It's nice. It's got a nice big background that you can expand, and it won't pixelate. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one to pictures, iRacing. I'll put it in my Rob Zombie folder. Right there. Now what we need to do, and I'm going to go back here. I want to save that one, so I'll go back to the Halloween abstract background. Actually, the wallpaper would be better. This way too, and I can show you how to do the sides of the cars, depending on what you're actually looking for. This one would be good. It's got a nice big side there. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. This one would also be a good one. What you want to do is when you're looking at side images like this, you need to decide what's going to look good on the car compared to where the numbers are as well. So once you put them on there, you'll have a better idea of what you're looking for. This would be another good one. Now, one other thing about the side ones is you don't have to have them 2048 because you're going to end up having to stretch them because you're only going to go about halfway through the car. Some of the car images you're going to want to keep on the sides. Some of them you can extend up to the hood, up through the middle of the roof. It depends on the image and how odd it would look if it was bent. See, for things like this one right here, this would be only like a half a car one because the tree would bend. This one would probably work out okay because the top part is mostly abstract. This one would not work because of the tree. You get the idea. Once I throw it on the car, you'll understand more about what I'm talking about. So now what we need to do is go over here to Paint Shop Pro. Now what you're looking at is the Rob Zombie truck I made. Rob Zombie here is a wrap, and I'll show you how to do that one there too. It's all about cleaning up the image because you're going to carry out as much as you possibly can over the hood of the car. But it'll the nature of a square or rectangular image that you're putting on the car is it's going to be boxed in. So you're going to have to do some cleanup like around in here, and I'll get to that later. One thing I do too is with the graphics. When you're looking at graphics like this, and you're putting on sponsor logos, you want PNG files with no background. So I'll do Halloween, no transparent background. See? So I'll come over here. Now when you're looking at things like this, you click on the image, and if it's white like it is here, that means it is not a PNG, no background file. So when you go to look through them, this one's not either. Neither is that one. But if I wanted to go to the ghost, you can see how these little squares are here. This is a transparent background. So if I saved it, that picture, and put it over there, it'll show up. Same way with the bat is the same way. These are all clip art ones, so it's really not going to matter that much. Now, ones like this, you have to be concerned about, because if they show this in the background like this is not going to be a transparent one. You'll find that out once you get into Paint Shop Pro that it doesn't work. This is a transparent background. Notice the difference right here. You can't see the transparency in this picture, but you can in this one. So this should work. Now there are some transparent backgrounds that'll look white on here, but as soon as you import them in there, they're going to be green in Paint Shop Pro. And I'll show you an example of that later. The pumpkins, for instance, that's a perfectly good PNG file. So you're taking a look at those, and that's what you're looking for. So any logos that you want to. So if you want to do a Mountain Dew, do logos transparent. See that? Click on it, and once you go to it, there's your transparent background. So you should always look for those first. If you're not finding what you're looking for and it's really, really obscure type of logo that you're looking for, like my Rob Zombie one, then you're going to either have to stretch it or you're going to have to do something called background erasing. And oddly enough, that's what I ended up doing with, let me see if I can find the Rob Zombie one. iRacing, Rob Zombie. There it is. Where is that? It's not on this one. There was one of my, the DC. It's not the DCH Crane one. It's one I had to do a whiteout around. Sometimes that's what you end up getting. Let me see if I can find it in this one. It's not in this one either. Well, there's one in there. I'll have to show you how to do a background erase. Quiet. All right, this is a good example, the DCH crane one. Now, generally, I'll do a transparent on this, and what you do is you click on the little dropper, and you make it the white background. So when you go to put it on your car, and I'll start off with a new truck. What I do is I always use the base as a background. So I want to make that black and just do it that way. Now, what I want to do with the DCH crane, now you can do it this way or you can do a background erase. Now, see, with this one right here, it's got this gray side which we're going to leave on there and over here as well. So we just want to do the white. So we'll do a edit, copy, go back to the truck, and then do edit as a transparent selection. Then you can drag it to where you want, and then go up to the tool and select it and drag it down until you can put it on, and then put it on your car. That's how you do it. The other way, and you notice right here you're getting some ghosting from that. That's the reason why you want a PNG file with no background if you can help it. Undo pick, undo prepare for tool, undo transparent. All right, now if you want to do your own background erasing, you go to this one right here where it says background eraser tool, and then you drag it and see how it's appearing. You just go and you drag it along until you get rid of the spots you don't want on there anymore. Drag it along there. Until it's covered. Now there's a way to check this as well to make sure you got the coverage you need. Is what I do is I go down here to the raster layer, the layer tool, do new raster layer, choose the paint bucket and hit it with black. Now it's going to black that one out. Just go over here to layers, drag it down below your logo, and anything that appears black up here has been erased. Now if you continue erasing, make sure you go back up to the layer you're trying to erase. And then you hit it some more. See how it's turning black again? As you drag more over here. But see, you can see the ghosting up here on the top. We're going to want to get closer. Until you get rid of enough of to cover all the way along. Now, once you're done with this, make sure you turn off the black layer, and then it'll show up that way. So as long as you want to do it, hit your coverage, get in between all your lines that you can, like this, down through here. Now, one thing about erasing too is if you hold on to this too long, it will erase your letters. That's not what you want to do, so make sure that you keep starting and stopping. And then you can just outline along the layer. That way you're not going to get any ghosting either. All right, well that's how you do that one. I'm not going to save it. So one of the things you want to do with a wrap, we'll go over here and we'll go back to my Rob Zombie. Now we're going to go ahead and do that one full-size wrap that we were looking at earlier. This one. All right. We need to make this. You go over to Image, go to Resize, and make sure it's not on percent. You want it on by pixels. And then put it to 2048 by 2048 to cover your car completely. Oh, make sure you turn off the aspect ratio. All right, now you got an image. Edit, copy, go back to the truck, edit, paste as a new layer. Notice how it changed. Now, if you want to turn this a little bit, which I'm going to end up doing, go back to the pointer tool, select your little line here, and you turn it until it's straight, just like that. So now you got that one there. But see, it looks a little odd over here because you got more over there than you do on this side. So I'm going to turn it back. All right, there you go. So now you got a little bit more on the front, you got a little more on the back. Now, if you don't want to put any up here on the front end, drag it down. You can either drag it down or you can erase. As long as you got the layer selected over here, just like it is here, you can go and erase by using your paintbrush tool. And the car's black, so I can take and drag this over and erase anything like that came in on the front end of the truck, if you don't like it that way. The other option, I'll undo this airbrush. The other option too is if you think that there's not enough there, go back to your pointer tool and you can actually extend this a little bit further. Notice how everything's smooshed back a little bit. See? What do you do with whiny dogs? For some of the things like the wing, for instance, your rear wing, the wrap will not cover it. That's something you have to paint yourself. Anything that could be painted on the body, on the base here, on one of the templates right here, it will not show up until you do that. Roll bar color, for instance, if I want to do that one, find out where it is. You can see how the little pointers down here. So I want to make that black. Go over to the paint. You've got this chosen right there. Hit it with the black. Pit box color, same thing. I'm going to hit this one with red, and I'm going to hit this one with black. Note about these right here. Generally, this one right here, your second one is going to be your pit wagon, and this one is going to be the base of your pit board. It's a little different with the new Gen 6 cars. They are being changed over to where you can actually paint your pit board separately. But another note on that one is when you go into iRacing, you want to be careful about which ones you select. And I'll go through that a little bit later because your numbers make all the difference in the world in iRacing. We'll go to the rear spoiler. We want this one black. Color change logos we'll leave alone. You can do those. If you want to do that, that's your Silverado up in here. So if we wanted to do a different color like a part of the orange, we could. If I wanted to go over here and do a dropper and then set it up for the orange, I can go over here and change those letters by selecting the paint tool and hitting it like this. You want to do this only when you select your color change logos. So there we go. That's how you change the logo color. You could do the same on the Goodyear if you needed to. The tape. The only tape on this one right here that matters is this one right here on the wing. Windshield banner. This one's a different one too. With every car, it's a different thing. That's especially true of the NASCARs. What ends up happening is for the Gen 6 and the Xfinity cars, your banner placement is here, over on the side. With the trucks, it's right here. So what I want to do is I want to take my Redline Racing logo, which I made yesterday, edit, copy. Now this is the one that you want to do. Right here this is where the PNG file makes sense. See how I've got the background right here? This is all set to do. So if I go over here and do edit, paste as a new layer. This is the difference between it. If you have to do the dropper tool, transparent layer is the one you're going to need. For everything else, it's new layer. Notice how it appeared there on the car. Hit your pointer tool, drag it up to where you need to, and then resize it. This is how you resize it. Alright, so now we got our Redline Racing logo on there. I want to expand this down just a hair. You can take this out further if you want to. And I will. One thing you want to make sure is you want this big enough to where it doesn't look pixelated. Now, we've got that abstract down there. I'm going to show you how to do the Rob Zombie hood thing. You can do this with any of them, but I'm going to use Rob here. Edit, copy. I can get rid of that one now. Edit, paste as a new layer. Now, see, he has a background, but I want to use the whole layer for it. So I want to shrink this down, drag the corner, turn it, and then position it on the hood. What I do is I take the corner where it is, right there, and I move it down to where I need to. Notice the little chrome piece right here and the Chevy emblem do not change. Those are part of the body scheme. Same way here with the grill. As soon as I dragged it down there, it did not touch the grill, but it did hit right here. So if you don't want quite that much, you can back it up. But you're leaving this down. Right there. See, but you're not getting a full rounded layer. And with this one, it's okay. It's something that I don't necessarily have to do. If you decide you want to get rid of this part, and you do want to extend it down over the hump over here, and you want to get rid of that, you go back to your abstract that you used, and then you put it in your paint. Go over here, click on that once, go to pattern, and then choose the wallpaper. So when you go to the car, it's going to line up, and you use this, go back to your paint, and see how it looks different? Drag your paint over it, just like that. And notice how it blended in. Same way with this one right here. We don't want to keep top of Rob's head in this cowling, so we need to get rid of that. One thing you need to do is make sure you have it on your design, your raster right there on the design that you added in there, like Rob's head right here. So that's how you erase, basically, is what it is. You're putting it back to what it was. So now that's nice and smooth, but now we've got Rob down here on that. Logo placement is really easy. You want to take a look. If you're not sure of the sponsor locations, go up to your sponsors, and this will show you basically where it is. You paint enough of these cars, you get to know where it is and what you can add in certain places. Now, like I do, this down here, it doesn't have a logo placement, but I always add it down. I'll always add something down there. The numbers are here, so you got to be careful about what you put in this location. So if you put like a person or something along those lines, you're not going to see them. So try to leave that area blank. It's usually from right about here where the post is to the contingencies. This one right here we don't have to mess with because we added Rob. So what I want to do is I'm going to go and add this one right here. This is another one that does not have a background. This one does have a background. So I want to left click on that, edit, copy it, and then we'll go back over here, edit, paste as a new layer. And notice when I do paste as a new layer, the black background stayed. So that's why you don't want to do that. Undo, paste it, and then you'd go to transparent selection. Now that's something you can drag at that point. Earlier I used this one here, but with a black truck it didn't make a difference. Notice when you take that out of there though, it changed the eyes and the nose of the skeleton. So if I go over here and turn that off, the eyes and nose and everything else around him are the same color as this because the black weeded out everything in here. So we'll point, and I want to turn this one. Make sure it's straight, check your lines, and then you just drag it to where you want it. And of course it decides to do a save. And then drag it to where you want it, just like that. Now, for a regular logo, you want to, I'll use the Rob Zombie green, which is what I used on this truck earlier. Once again, it's a transparent background. Edit, copy, edit, paste as a new layer, drag it down to where you want it, and then move it like this. Now you can adjust this. It's not an exact science when you try to line it up with your sponsor logo. See? Right there. You can actually go a little bit further if you want to extend like that Z over here to the top of the tail light. And then over here. You can go further if you want to, but generally I don't. But I will go down just a little bit so that the B touches the top of the fender well. Edit, copy, edit, paste as a new layer. Now, see what I did was I copied the exact size of this particular decal so that when I go over here to this, I can drag it up and do this. Now, in this case here, it's a little bit different because you got the gas tank. Rotate it. And then you can, then it lines up. See, now in this case it goes over the top, which is what I want. If you wanted to put it under or shorten it, just drag it back to where the line is. Alright. Now, generally for the other ones, I will take and put other logos on there, but I'm going to hold off for now. So I want to go down here, make sure you turn off your sponsor layer. So now they all line up. And when you go into Paint Shop Pro, then you'll be able to do that. I'm going to shut this off. I'm not going to save it. So I'll go over here. We'll get another truck. Go down here, change your base layer to black. And the reason why I do this for black, put the black down there, you can do it with white or anything else. It depends on what you're going to use as the color of the truck. Now we're going to do the half layers. We'll do this one right here. Edit, copy, edit, paste as a new layer. Use the tool. See, now this is the one that you don't necessarily need for the 2045. And you can drag it down here, then drag it the length of the truck. Now, you got the bar down here that's going to make a difference. If you want to extend that, you can, but it extends onto the hood of the truck if you're going to do it that way. Now, this one I can actually do a halfway. So what I want to do is you can see where the black line is. It's not always there, but you take it to the halfway point of the Chevy logo, and notice how it dragged it up. What I want to do at that point, I want to make sure that's down all the way, edit, copy it, because you're going to want the exact same on the other side. Edit, paste as a new layer. Now there's a secret to this one. When you go to paste layers like this for a wrap, turn it until it's even. Make sure your lines are straight. You can always go back and change that if you discover it's not. And then you drag it up to the point you need to, which would be just under the front end of the truck. And you put it there. If it's not exactly right, you can drag it out to where you need to go. All right, now with this one, you need to make sure you flip it. You got to flip the image, or otherwise it won't look symmetrical with the other side. So I'll go to Image, Flip, Horizontal. Voila! You can see how it matches up. You got the house there, black there. The skulls are even with each other, or the pumpkins are even with each other. Now, if you want to do something on the hood and the tailgate, edit, paste as a new layer. And this one you're going to have to shrink a little bit. Take it and drag it up to where you need to go. And the reason is because of how iRacing does the placement of it. Drag it down until you get it there. Then you get the pumpkins on the front, and then you got the house on the back. All right, what I want to do is I still want to paint this black. So we're going to go over here. We need to do the roll bar color. I start and go down, or go up as I go along. Makes it easier because where your sponsor placement is. Paint, black, pit box colors. I want to change that one. Let's make this one orange. So we want to do orange there and black there. All right. Brace bar you don't need to change. Rear spoiler we want is black. There we go. Color change logos. We'll make those orange. All right, tape. We'll make that orange as well. All right. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and do placement of logos and stuff like that. I've already gone through it, but that's how you do a half body wrap. Now, if you look at it, you can see right there, there's a black line down the middle. It's because it didn't completely match up. If you get that, you can go down to your raster, find the one you want, and drag this down just a little bit to cover that seam. See how it covered the seam a little bit? The black line that's running through it right now, you can see it. That's the marker, the grid marker. But that's how you do a half body wrap. If you don't want it all the way over there, and just on the sides, you can drag it down there and use the black if you want, or another color. What I do sometimes is I will take and isolate a certain color of the truck, like this. I'll go over here and I'll just do that, and I'll save it as something else. But you want to make sure it's saved as something else. And generally I'll do that on the other one. I'll just save it like as a background. Then you can take that particular layer and edit and do crop. And the truck disappeared. Okay, there it is. Part of it at least. Part of it disappeared, but I'm not worried about it. What you end up doing then is just moving it along, and then just pasting it down the middle. Just do another layer, and then sort it out accordingly. Paste as a new layer. Well, that did that one there. I didn't want to do that. At any rate, that's how you do layers. One thing you need to make sure of when you go into Paint Shop Pro is, or Paint Shop Pro, trading paints, is to make sure your truck or your car um, has the right wheels and stuff. Go to iRacing, and then Account, Customize Cars, and when you get there, you're going to see the swatch pad right there. Select car numbers. This number should always be white or at least a light car because that's what's going to show up on your numbers. Okay? This is one of the problems my teammate Brandon Wilson had, is he didn't choose white on it, and he probably should have. The second number is your pit board. That's generally speaking for all the cars. The third number is your inside line right through here, but it's also your primary color, so you can choose just about anything you want for that one. With the wheels, I generally go with that same number. 860822 is what it usually is. And you can see right here, that's what it is right there. If you want to know the a particular number and you're working in Paint Shop Pro, you just go over to the vehicle you're working on and you click on the number like that until it pops up. Your HTML number is right there. And that's what you end up using for any colors that you want to do, special custom colors. And that's it for today's tutorial. If you got any more questions, let me know on Facebook and or here on the channel, and I will go ahead and try to answer them as best I can. Thank you for watching.